Okay, now on to page 2 of this activity. We're on problem number 11. It says write the equation for the graph right below. So we need to write the equation y equals mx plus b. We figure out this b and this m. So let's start with the b. Well, the b is the y-intercept. So if that's the y-intercept, we're just going to look at the y-axis, try to find where it crosses. Oh, it crosses right here. There's your y-intercept. And in this situation, our y-intercept is -1. So b is equal to -1. So what we have is y is equal to mx minus 1. Now let's try to find the slope. Key to that is to try to find two good crossing points. Well, I guess this is a good crossing point, right? And we'll keep on following this guy. No, oh, this is a good one right there. So let's do that. Now remember, slope is rise over run. And so what we can do is make a nice little triangle to try to figure out what our rise is. Right here, this is our rise. And what our run is. That's right here. Our run. So m equals rise over run. Well, our rise looks like it's from -1 to 1, which is 2. So this is equal to 2, and our run is 1. 2 over 1, which is just 2. So our slope for this situation is 2. That's what we're putting for there. So we have y is equal to 2x minus 1. And there is your equation. Okay, moving on to number 12. Number 12 says simplify. Write the answer in standard form. And the standard form is given to us right here, ax plus by is equal to c. So we need to just take this and rewrite it in that form. Okay, so the key thing here is to get all the x's together, all the y's together, and we're going to get that constant on the right side. So let's start with, on this side, distributing this 3x, or 3 to the x and to the 8 right now there. Now remember, there's a negative there, so don't forget about that. So we have y is equal to 4x plus 3. -3 times x is minus 3x, and -3 times 8 is minus 24. Okay. Now let's bring together some like terms. You know, that's a like term with that, so we have y is equal to 4x minus 3x, which is just x, and 3 minus 24, well, that is -21. Okay. Next step is to move this x over here, so we can get that on this side with the y, so we'll subtract the x. So what we have is -x plus y is equal to -21. And now we're in standard form. There's your answer. Okay, moving on to solving inequalities. Right here we got an inequality, we need to solve it. So it's just like before. There's a couple more things that we have to think about, especially when you divide by a negative or multiply by a negative. Remember, the sign will change. But you just treat it like the railroad track method. Okay? Whatever you do on one side, you do the other. So first step, let's try to get rid of this 2 here. We could distribute it in, but I like to get rid of it, so we'll divide everything by 2. Divide by 2, so I have x minus 3 is less than 7. And then we're going to add 4, or 3, I don't know where I got 4, add 3, and so I have x is less than 10. We just solve for it. All done. Moving on to this one, got to solve this one. Again, railroad track method, just like before. Okay, bring that like that. Okay, so we have this 2/3 here. You see that? Oh yeah, I was going, okay, I gotta go up. Got this 2/3 here. Make sure you got that in here. We need to get rid of that. One way to get rid of 2/3 is to multiply everything by 3/2. Multiply everything by 3/2 and that will get rid of it. So let's do that. Multiply the top and bottom by 3/2. 3/2, 3/2. Now this 2 cancels off that 3 and that 2 cancels off that 2. So what we're left with is x minus 12 is less than 3/2. Does that make sense? No, don't do it this way. This way is the bad way. Okay, let's do this differently. Let's distribute this in. Okay? So, erase everything that you knew about this problem so far. We're going to distribute this in. Okay, so, gone. So, 2/3 times x. Let's do that. Let's distribute that in. So, we've got 2/3 x minus 2/3 times 12. Well, 2 times 12 is 24. 24 divided by 3 is 6. So we got minus 6. And that is less than x plus 5 that we had up there. Okay, I think this is a better way of doing it. So now let's bring this 2/3 x over to this side, subtract 2/3, and let's bring that 5 over to that side. So subtract 2/3 x, and we'll subtract 5 from both sides. Subtract 5. So what I have is -11 is less than 1/3 x. Okay. Because this is 1. 1 minus 2/3 is 1/3. Okay, so that's what we're doing there. Now we got to get rid of this 1/3, so we'll multiply by 3 at both sides. By both sides by 3. Okay, let's just bring this up here. So I have 3 times 11 is -33, and 3 times 1/3 is x. So we got x is greater than negative 33. There we go. Okay. Moving on to number 15. Here, we got a nice little fraction here, but we can get rid of that 4 in the denominator really easily. We'll just multiply everything by 4. Multiply by 4, that cancels that sucker out. So we have 10 minus 2x is greater than negative 24. Now let's subtract this 10 from both sides, subtract the 10 from both sides. So we've got negative 2x is greater than negative 34. Now we divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, stop. We divided by a negative. So what happens to the sign? Oh, it flips. So we got it the other way. So we have x. What's 34 divided by 2? Isn't that 17? Positive 17. So our equation, our answer is x is less than 17. There we go. Okay, moving on to number 16. We've got to solve the compound inequality here. So we got 4x plus 6 is less than 10, and negative 3x minus 5 is greater than 17. So let's solve this compound. It's just really just two things with an and. So let's subtract 6, subtract 6. So we've got 4x is greater than negative 16. Divide by 4, divide by 4. And so we have x is greater than negative 4. And let's do the same thing. Let's add 5, add 5. So we have negative 3x is greater than negative 12. Divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. And we got x, switch it because it's negative, is less than 4. So we have x is greater than negative 4 and x is less than 4. We can kind of combine those together. We know x is greater than negative 4, but less than 4. And there's your answer. From here and here brought together into one. Okay, moving up to number 17, 18, 19, and 20. Guess what, guys? I didn't teach this to you. Remember, there'll be 2 answers, so we can skip these right here. Skipping all those through 20. Don't do them. Okay. Going on to chapter 2. Oh, man. Okay. So chapter 2 is evaluate each expression. Remember, when we're doing this, we got to think about PEMDAS. P-E-M-DAS. So PEMDAS is parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, at the same time from left to right, and addition, subtraction, at the same time from left to right. So just take your time and do these things nice and easily. First, are the parentheses? Nope. Okay. Next, exponents. You bet there are 4 to the third. Well, 4 to the third. What is that? 4 times 4 times 4. We're talking 64 there. So let's rewrite this as 64 minus 30 divided by 3. Okay. So we took care of the exponents. Now multiplication, division. No multiplication going in there. Oh, but we got the division here. So that comes before subtraction. So we'll do that. 30 divided by 3. So we have 64 minus 10. Okay, and so we take from multiplication, division, done. 64 minus 10 is equal to 54. And there's your answer there. Okay, moving on to B. First, parentheses. 4 plus 5 is 9. So we got 2 squared plus 6 times 9. Next up, exponents. 2 squared, well that's 4. So we got 4 plus 6 times 9. Next up, multiplication, division from left to right. Scanning. Oh, there we go. 6 times 9. 6 times 9, just so I don't make a mistake. Let's see, we got 54 for that. So this is 4 plus 54. Now the last thing we can do is add. So we got 58. There we go. Okay, moving on to this number C right here. Okay, we're getting a little bit difficult, but we just follow PEMDAS. Should be fine. So what I like to do is, if you think about this, there's parentheses around the numerator and denominator, so focus on one at a time. Okay? So one at a time. So let's figure out what this top is right here. We'll rewrite that there. I got 9 plus 8, nothing to do in the parentheses there, but 4 divided by 5, which is 9, and then times 8. Okay. Let's simplify that a little bit. Now we got this 3 plus 4, which is, we got 2 times 7 plus 13 plus, and then we can just do this right here, negative 4 squared. If you put that in your calculator and you don't use parentheses, you are going to get this problem wrong. Know that a negative times a negative is a positive, so this is 16. Okay, let's do it again. 9 times 8 is 72, so we have 9 plus 72, all over 2 times 7 is 14, plus 3, 13. 14 plus 13, and then we got the 16 right here. Okay, moving on. 9 plus 7 is 81. 81 over 14 plus 3, 27 plus 16. 81 divided by 27 is 3 plus 16. 3 plus 16 is equal to 19. So there's your answer for that one. A little bit more work, but not terrible. 19 right there. Okay, now we're on to simplifying some of these algebraic expressions with exponents. Here in this situation, you need to figure out what we can simplify here. First, what I like to do is, can we do any combination on top in the numerator? Doesn't look like it. Can we do any combination in the denominator? Doesn't look like it. So next, I like to get rid of any negative exponents. Here I got a negative exponent. How do I get rid of that? Well, I just take the negative exponent along with this base right there, and I bring it to the top. And then it will become a positive exponent. So I got w to the 4, y to the 8, y now to the positive 6, because that became positive, all over w squared. Okay. Now can I simplify the top? Well, a little bit I can. Remember the rule, when you have y to the a times y to the 6th, what you can do is you can combine these two by adding the exponents right there. We're just going to add those up. So we got w to the 4, y to the 14th, all over w squared. Okay. Now, top is simplified as much as the bottom is simplified as much as the bottom. Now let's cancel across. Well, how many w's do I have on top? Well, I have 4 w's on top. How many do I have on the bottom? 2. So if I cancel 2 on the bottom and 2 on top, I am left with w squared on top, because 4 minus 2 is 2, and y to the 14th. And there's your answer, w squared, y to the 14th. Okay, moving on to number 23. It says to simplify this expression right here. So let's start by, let's see, we just got a bunch of things going on here. I got this negative 3. Are there any other bases? Well, yeah, there is. There's this and this. So what's negative 3? Everything's being multiplied here, right? So it's negative 3 times 2. Well, that's negative 6. And then I got the x there, I got the x there, I got the x there. We'll bring those all together. 1x there times 1x times 1x bx to the 3rd power. Now I got my y squareds and my y to the 4th. If I bring that and that together, when I multiply it, that's y to the 6th power. There is my solution. No negative exponents, so I'm happy I can end up with that. That is the end of page 2.